guess what? The hawthorn's in bloom, otherwise known as the May tree. So guess what? It's the May Old Allens update. So what's been going on? Well, there's been loads happening down here, which is really good. Mowing as usual. I won't bore you with the details of that, but of course, yeah, it's that time of year. Grass is growing like mad, so a lot of my focus has been doing that, just keeping the place tidy. But with that in mind, I'm going to do you a little demo. Me and Wilma, come here. That's right. Me and Wilma, who's been really noisy, come up. We've been really silly, but it demonstrates a big change down here. When I first got this place, it was nettles, thistles, bramble covering this area. So there's no way you could have a game of chase with your dog. She didn't even like walking across it. I used to call her Princess Paws because I had to carry her across it. And now, barefoot running, not a problem. And that is just through mowing regularly. Clearing the bramble off. Seeded where the bramble was with grass, to be fair. But regular mowing has taken away the thistles and the nettles and things. They're all still around the edges, and I leave them there as sort of like a wildlife area, because they're very useful obviously for butterflies and all sorts of other insects and invertebrates. But yeah, it's nice to have a bit of grass in the middle of the play on. It's looking more like an orchard all the time. Good girl. The potatoes are growing along nicely. We've escaped most of the frost damage. We did have a few late frosts, and obviously with them being down here, I didn't get down and cover them, but they've basically survived unscathed, which is really good. So hopefully now we're having a bit of sort of like rain at the moment. We've got sun and rain, so they should come on nicely. Hidden in amongst the weeds at this end of the plot, I've still got lots of my hazel trees, and I've got a mountain ash just there, and a standard ash there. These are all in pots, buddleia, things like that. These have all got to be planted in at some point, but they're fine in the pots at the moment because they were only potted into these pots last year anyway, so they'll be okay. They're quite happy sat there. In front of them I've got currant bush just there, black currant, black currant, black currant. Just pop those in, just the three of those. And then in this spare area here, I'm hoping to get some sweet corn in there a little bit later on. It's not quite ready to come out yet. It's a little bit short, but when they get a bit bigger I'll get them out, and hopefully I'll have a nice block of sweet corn growing in here. I've also made a little change on the side of the hut. This sort of like half door was on a bonfire pile with these brass hinges on it, and I thought to myself I can use that, so I took it off the bonfire pile. And now a handy little workstation on the side of the hut. So I have people here. For barbecues, things like that. Excuse the biplane going overhead. When I have people here for barbecues or whatever it might be, or just staying for a weekend, got a bit of outdoor cooking space or washing up area or whatever. Just a sensible little addition to what was a plain sided hut. biggest change down here though is of course the main support poles being on the main structure of the roof being on the roundhouse. As you would have seen, you know, I had a lot of help on the roundhouse before, and then I'll show you some pictures of getting this bit done, which I did. I started it on my own, which was a bit tricky. Made up a support pole, A-frame, got the first one on, started that, did probably 3 or 4 on my own, and then as luck would have it, my friend James came down. He just turned up, and with his help we had the rest of them up in about an hour. So that was great. I'll show you them pictures now. Oof. So here you just see all the poles all lashed up together. Just very basically, all this does, the roping, it just stops the poles sliding down each other. That's literally all it does. The structure itself holds onto itself. I'll move this bin. I'll just hang on this. Okay. It's self-supporting because each one rests on the next one, which rests on the next one, which rests on the next one, and then the final one, this is the bit I can get my head around, the final one just sort of slots in underneath the first one and on top of the previous one, and then when you remove the support pole it all settles down into place and locks into place. So you could peg these if you wanted to, but there's no need. I could drill and peg them, but there's no need. The ropes just purely stop it sliding off, so stop it sliding down. The supports around the edge, they're literally just resting on that ring, and as it sort of compresses, I mean, again, the ropes around the outside, they don't even need to be there to hold it up. It will self-support. It could be set on the ground, it could be set on whatever. But what I've got here is a functioning set of roof rafters. What I need to do next is add in these sort of the intermediate supports for whatever roof covering I'm going to put on. And I was going to do a turf roof. I'm not entirely sure I'm still going to do that because there is a bit of rot in some of these timbers, and obviously a turf roof would be a heavy old thing, so it may end up being like wooden infill and then just like canvas sort of roofing or fabric of some kind, just literally just tied on to make up the roof. Not entirely sure yet, but we'll work that through. Here we've got humulus lupulus or humulus lupulus, whichever you would like to call it, otherwise known as hop. So your beer, that's hop. Grows happily in exactly these sort of environments. So the idea is get it around here, you know, as the building progresses. That and some other climbers, you know, why not cover the thing, make a proper structure and cover it. This was a freebie from the Manor House Gardens. It's one of their sort of self-seeded ones. They've got a large amount of hop there, so this one was a spare, so I potted it up and brought it down here. And while we're at it, there's some more wildflowers. These are red campion, which are growing out underneath this viburnum bush, which itself will be coming into flower fairly soon. And here we have, just tucked in here, again, we're just behind the hut now, on the edge of the wood. This is a bush vetch. So of course I've been mowing paths through the woods again to make access easy. And in this place here, this little path here only exists because, again, there's a new tree. Now this tree came from a customer. It was a lady at one of the old folks places that I look after, one of the places I maintain. Just stand the tripod down a sec, hold on. Down here in the woods, we've got ground ivy. This is in one of the clearings. One thing that surprised me with the mowing of the paths and things is the amount of grass that's on the ground down here now. There's grass in the, you can see taller stems of grass in amongst the nettles and things, but so obviously it's always been in here, but it's really thickened up. I mean, if I just point the camera down, you know, there are people that got worse lawns than that, and yet we're under the canopy of these trees. So I presume there's enough light and enough moisture to keep it going, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. So we're in the bee clearing. These are the 2 beehives. I know the larger hive, there, the one with the super on top with the white there, that was fine over winter. The beekeeper informed me. This one here, the next one, was queenless when he inspected them. This is a few weeks ago. He hasn't been back since. He did say he'd have to sort that out, but I'm not sure what he's doing there. But you can see bees buzzing around. I'll try and get you a little bit of a closer view of the bees in and out. There we are. Bees happily buzzing around. Actually finding lots of flowers at the moment. Being May, nice and easy pickings for them, I should think. Here's a little stand of Jack in the Hedge, or Jack by the Green, or whatever you want to call it. It's got various sort of common country names. A sort of a garlicky flavoured leaf. It's getting a little bit old now. Obviously it's getting flowering here and going to seed, but you know, you can still get a nice little kick off the leaves. So basically this area of nettles up here is what the place looked like. The entire carpet of the woodland floor was either large thick stands of nettle like that, or it was the Dog's Mercury, which is very prolific in the woods here as well. And it's very important to leave that stuff in, but to create areas which have got a bit of different diversity, a bit of other stuff going on. I want to leave the woods largely untouched, but just gradually sort of work with nature to help nature out, rather than impose my will on it. So I'm being very cautious and very careful with what I actually do and how I go about it in the woods in particular. The field, less so. I don't mind sort of like creating that as more of an orchard, or putting in you know, some species that may not necessarily technically be native or what have you, but I don't mind playing around with that quite so much. But the woodland, it's a special place and I want to keep it special. So, sudden change of scene, but it's because I didn't film anything else down the field. And excuse me, I've had a shave. Thanks for watching the update. That's basically it. I'm just going to leave you with a nice brief little bit of footage of Lee Robinson's folding firebox, just boiling us a brew, because I saw him down there today, and I did film that. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thanks for watching. Keep watching the channel, keep subscribing, tell your friends, do what you need to do. I'll see you again soon. Thanks ever so much.